Today we're going to be building an assembly table. The neat thing about this assembly table is it's about 2.5 feet wide, and the nice thing is it's got the 2 drop leaves, and they're very easy to set up. So you just got to go like that. Let's see how we did this.
I always like to start out with a plan. In this case, I wanted the top 72 by 24, and I wanted it 37 inches high. And I wanted casters so I could move this thing around. Most of this is built with 2x4s. So I needed 21-inch stringers. I compensated for the legs by going with 33.5-inch legs so they would fit the 2.5-inch casters. I also wanted to double up on the top. So 2 sheets of 1/2-inch plywood. That should be plenty sturdy enough. So the original plan called for 8 2x4s. In actuality, I got 6 2x4x8s and 2 2x4x10s. We'll explain that in a little bit. So time to get sawing. So now that the sawing's done, I end up with 2 sheets of plywood that are 2 by 6 feet. I have 1 sheet of plywood that's 2 by 4 feet. That'll be the bottom shelf. As far as 2x4s go, I have 9 21-inch stringers. I have 8 2x4 by 33.5. Those will be the legs. And I have 4 2x4x6, which will be the sides. The casters I picked up at Home Depot. They were like $5.99 a piece. And then I really like these spack screws, 2.5 inches long, more than enough to go through those 2x4s. And the leaf brackets I picked up at Amazon. Nice pack of 4, and these things will hold up to 150 pounds a piece. So I started off with one of the pieces of the plywood on my old assembly table. It's about a 1950s version of a kitchen table, and some of the projects that I have coming up just won't hold it. And when I was putting this together, it was pretty much at its limit. So the first sheet of plywood goes down. So the sides go on, and the stringers. Right now we're just using the piece of plywood as a table extension. For this side, I pre-drilled all the holes before putting in the screws. Of course, lining it up to make sure that everything was square. And these stringers are 18 inches on center. For the other side, I pre-drilled all the holes, but I did them all at one sweep. Then I screwed all of them in, again making sure that they were 18 inches on center and square. The legs were done very easily. Two 2x4s stuck together, basically giving you a 4x4. Now that the legs are on, now we can work on the bottom. Same basic concept. We pre-drill all the holes and then screw everything down. Once the bottom is built, now we lift it up. I used an old 4x4 as my guide, and then we screwed it in. Now for the casters. Those things went in pretty easy. Now for the top. I made sure that this is the worst of the two pieces that I have, as I want the pristine piece on top. These are 2 1/2-inch sheets of plywood, thus giving me a total inch for the top. This is the second sheet of plywood going on. This will be the finished piece. The tops I put down with 2 1/2-inch screws, both the sub top and the finished top. It's at this point I decided to put leaves on the table, a 2x10 on either side. This will give me a total of 44 inches across the top. Once the leaves are installed, now I get her back on her top. Now to sand this baby down. I started out with 60 grit sandpaper and then went up to 120. And the reason I only went to 120, because frankly, this is going to be an assembly table. And finally, 3 coats of polyurethane. I'm using the semi-gloss polyurethane, and I'm putting it on with a standard old brush that I had, because putting this stuff on will definitely kill that brush.
So that's how we put together our drop leaf assembly table. If you like this content, please subscribe, and thank you for watching.